Positive learning environment through movement. Today, today we will analyze a cartoon that shows a chaotic classroom. I'll talk about tips and strategies that can be used to have a positive learning environment. Within this picture, it shows a teacher having a sour attitude because in the speech bubble it says this is going to be a fun year, which indicates that the teacher is overwhelmed and is not having a class that is respecting her, unfortunately, as you can see the picture. There is one learner throwing papers up in the classroom. There are two learners fighting on the floor. There is one learner that is throwing a paper plane in the classroom which can hurt maybe another student by hitting the other student in the eye. There is also one student on the table that's dancing with a bucket on their head, which is very dangerous because the child can fall and hurt themselves. Another student drew a very inappropriate drawing on the board of the teacher. There is another student running in the classroom, and then the last one is there is a student that is making funny faces. What contributes to disorder and lack of positive learning climate? These factors can be that the classroom is not suitable for grade R learning, as there is not enough space for the children to explore and to discover things and play areas for them. Emotional regulation is when the learner doesn't know how to cope with their emotions properly, which can unfortunately affect them and the people around them. Social and peer interactions can influence behavior, which can unfortunately be negative and which can also lead to conflict between themselves, their peers, and the teacher. Some students may have trauma experiences which unfortunately affect their behavior. Other students can also have a communication difficulties which can lead to frustration. Teaching tips and strategies. The following tips and strategies that the teacher can use goes as follows. The teacher can create a consistent rules and routines. Rules will help to keep a structure within the classroom and also for the children to respect um, themselves, their peers, and their teacher. A routine is very helpful because it can be installed within a student so the student knows where something goes, what must something be done, and it can also be helpful in their personal lives if this routine is universal. The teacher can also establish boundaries so that the children don't cross certain lines and learn to respect other people's space and to be spatial aware of others. The teacher can create a positive classroom climate by obviously setting rules, as that is helpful. The teacher can give structured instructions so that the students know this must be followed, and she can also paste it on the in the classroom so that it's more visible for the students so the students can remember. Another thing that the teacher can do is reward the students for doing something good, like maybe a sticker, or if the children is allowed to, you may give children like a sucker, or something very cute, you give the child an extra drawing that they can take home. There's more things that can happen, like a classroom layout, like the teacher can make it more spacious, more places for the children to enjoy themselves within the classroom. Can also do with grouping, making sure that everybody learns from one another. Also, like verbal cues that the teacher can use to grab attention from the kids, and maybe clapping or lifting up their hands. Another way is by having arithmetic activities, which can be engaging and effective and coordinate the kids to help transition them into certain task that needs to be made, and it will help help the children to focus and be prepared for the next task to maintain. Example of stimulated classroom movement activities. The activities that the teacher can use or cues that the teacher can use is by using Simon Says. So when she says Simon says sit down, Simon says turn around, Simon says sit up straight, all little cues for them to understand that they must do that and listen to the teacher's instructions. The teacher can also have an instrument like a triangle, so when she hits it, it indicates to the children to sit down or do the certain activity or move on to a certain game that she has created for them. Also, there's a song that the teacher can sing, a dino song. For example, say dinosaur, dinosaur, turn around. So the children turn around and follow the instructions as follows. Dinosaur, dinosaur, stomp the ground. Dinosaur, dinosaur, show your claws. Dinosaur, dinosaur, snap your jaws. Dinosaur, dinosaur, turn around. Dinosaur, dinosaur, sit back down. So that's a nice way for kids to just feel engaged and feel encouraged to still be within the classroom. Supports physical, developmental, and social emotional well-being. Physical growth, it helps with gross motor skills such as jumping and fine motor skills such as maybe throwing a ball. It helps with coordination, balance, and supporting brain development. Social, social emotional well-being um, is for engaging activities to promote social skills such as cooperation, communication, and develop peer relationships, emotional regulation, and social interactions as well. To foster a positive learning environment, the teacher must support the student's development, encourage growth, make sure the students have a safe environment to learn and develop. Let's create a safe environment for children to grow. Thank you.